Oh nah, oh nah 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 nah, oh nah, oh nah, oh nah.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. If this is your first time stopping in, welcome, welcome, welcome. Over here, I like to show my budgeting journey. I just started it off camera at the end of last year, maybe October, with the whole cash stuffing piece of it. I've always budgeted, but I never really got down to the nitty gritty of it all until maybe where I, became very serious about cash budgeting until in September, October of last year. So, what I like to do is I don't necessarily, in terms of the cash stuffing piece, I don't necessarily cash stuff my bills or my fixed expenses, any of it's really just my variable stuff that because my issue is all those things that come out of the woodwork that I'm never prepared for that throw me off track. So, I started off with really, I think it was at first just maybe eight, 7 or 8 cash envelopes and sinking funds. And now, of course, now I have my business binder, I have a P1 binder, and I have a P2 binder. And I've started savings challenges. So I've sort of evolved since then. But what I do is I do on this channel show my cash stuffing of my sinking funds, and I also like to show my spending update. So what I normally do, as I've shown in the past, is I will oops, sorry for hitting the camera. I will do my monthly budget. So all my fixed expenses are budgeted and they stay in the bank. And what I do aside from that is I'll put in whatever it is that I've spent weekly, aside from so that I'm tracking what money is actually coming out and where it's going. And that's where I have been trying to narrow down my budget. So once I've done that, then I will come over here and I will put it all, a monthly total, into my monthly spending tracker. So in doing this, of course, I can then track the total and whether I was on budget or off budget in total in that area for the month. What I have also layered in, which I wasn't originally doing, is I have also now layered in the cash envelopes and what category of spending that falls into and what I had in my envelope versus what I spent, to see where I went over. And then I go ahead and I unstuff, pay myself back so I can put it back on my credit card. I do buy my groceries on credit card. My grocery budget is immediately transferred to my credit card, because of course spending on my credit card gives me cash back. I have points cards and whatnot and everything else that I use. So I try to layer up the returns, if we put it that way. So let's go through this like I normally do. And we'll start off with groceries. So $700 budget. That was my budget last month as well. $700. Came in under just by 97 cents last month. And this month I also came in under. I spent $629 on groceries, came in $70.94 under. But that was sort of intentional. I was sort of intentionally trying to do that, and I'll explain in a minute why. Gas, $100 budget. Previously, I had a budget of like, I think it was like $90. I think it went up to $90, $70. Previously, I had a budget of $70, and previous to that, yeah, so it was always $70, and it was $60 back in February. Now, the reason why it was so low was because I work from home and get my groceries delivered. We were under lockdown. I was really going nowhere. There were months where I did not even have to fill my tank, put any gas in my tank. So now things are changing a bit. I do still work from home, but there are more, of course, weather is much nicer, going more places and whatnot. So this month it was raised to $100. I spent $99.47, so 53 cents. So within the budget there. Eating out, I've always been wrestling with myself with this one. I had no budget for it, but I would still track it. Then finally I gave myself $100 budget, but I still end up around this amount. So eating out, $100 budget, came in at $203. Here, this is when I had no budget. I came in at $169. So eating out always seems to $100 budget here, $256. So I always seem to be around that 200 mark. So here's where I was, because I was realizing that I was going to be over budget here again. So this is where I sort of tried to reduce my grocery spending a bit, so that I would be under in the grocery, because I was trying to make up for what I figured I was going over in eating out. Now I didn't quite make all of it, because I think I'm still I still ended up like $50 or so here over in terms of the difference between the two. So we're going to keep working on that one. That is an area and you know what? I blame my kids, okay? Just gotta say no more. Okay, anyways, we'll leave that there. So this was unexpected. Emergency prep. I spent $175 on what I considered emergency prep. Now, where this came in was we had a storm here almost 2 weeks ago now, and there are people that are still out of power even now. And the way that storm came in, it was so unexpected. Nobody expected that. It was not like forecast to be that brutal. And I, knock on everything, thank the Lord that, for us, it was so bad, but there was no damage around our home. Our power went out very briefly. It literally was like a flash on and off, and the power was back. But I think about those people who are still, in places in like Ottawa, in places in like Quebec, that are still right now, all this time later, have no power. So that prompted me to say, okay, the weather is getting worse and worse. There are so many unexpected weather scenarios that are coming about now. Like, we all need to start thinking about being prepared for those emergency situations. So I'm going to create a video and detail what I've purchased there, and how I'm going to try to sort of layer that into my budget. Is going to have to be something that that we all sort of put it at the forefront, because the weather is getting wicked. Like, so many unexplained like, how many times are we going to hear like a once in a century storm or occurrence or whatever? How many times are we going to hear that? Like, I don't know. And it's just so hard with everything getting more expensive. Like, it's just another thing that we are all gonna have to start taking seriously and thinking about. So again, as I said, I'll do a separate video on that and just discuss how I'm doing that and how I'm gonna try to start accounting for this. So that was an unexpected expense, and in the video I'll go through what I actually purchased here, but I think it was a necessary expense. So in terms of the things that I purchased that fell in my cash and sinking funds envelopes, here we have wellness. I spent $47.26. Of course, my vitamins, and there were some unexpected medication costs that were required over the counter that were not covered. I had a cold for about a week. Oh, it was so bad, and it was all, and I may even still sound a little nasally, but it was all in my sinuses and such a sore throat. My voice was completely gone. Took my COVID test, was not COVID, thank goodness. But yeah, I had that, and maybe it's just my body reacting to the weather. I spent the whole winter shut in, and yeah, and then I was like out and about like every weekend, every other day, and whatever. So yeah, so I went over what I had available in my envelopes there by $17. Giving, as I mentioned in my cash stuffing video, I did go ahead and I believe it was with the Red Cross Ukrainian. There was an option to donate to Ukraine through the Red Cross, so that is what I did here with giving. Now, I did not donate the entire $100 to, I donated $70 to Ukrainian, to the Red Cross, to the Ukrainian fund through the Red Cross, and then $30 I am purchasing canned goods and whatnot to donate to my local food bank, because again, there's the struggle. People are really struggling. I'm struggling, but even through my struggles, I'm still gonna always try to find a way to give regardless, because I'm not at the point where I need to be using a food bag, thank the Lord. But there are so many people the pandemic has affected people. The war that has now come and has caused shortages in our food chains, and then all these weather occurrences again have caused, because even, you know, I was talking about the storm that happened, and all of those people who went without power for days, forget about the people who are still without power now, nearly 2 weeks later. All those people that went without power for days, they lost all their food. So the food bank was saying that now, you know, the need is even greater, because they're having to just like supply the need for so many different issues that are layering and stacking on top of each other. So that's why I made the decision. I put $70 towards Ukraine and spending $30 on buying food for my food bank. And I typically do the food bank spend. I think the last time I did that and donated was in January, I believe. So it was time for me to do that again. So that is that. So with that, I've taken out the $100 and there is $20 left in giving. Self-care, a lot spent here. This, of course, is going towards, I took it out, it is going towards my hair. And my birthday is coming up in a couple days. Not a couple days, but yeah, it is less than 2 weeks now. It'll be like 12 days. So yeah, my hair, I took that out for my hair. So that's 178, but I also had purchased hair products from the hair store and facial products and whatnot. So with the hair and the products, that came to $178. So only had 115 in that envelope. Miscellaneous, now that is always my banking fees that I put here. So $15.95 pulled from the 25, but I will more than likely be pulling all of miscellaneous because I went over in these other areas. Entertainment, spent $78.96, only had $55 in that envelope, so $23.96 over there. So in total for everything that was non-business related, I had 1,245 to spend. I spent 1,538.18, so a negative $293.18 here. So let's see if I can recall if I had. So in last month I was much over. I was over by $529.17, and that was with one unexpected bill. Well, actually two, because the glasses, I did not expect to spend that either. So it is really my unexpected, that because this month I had the $175 unexpected, and had I not spent that, it would have really put me much closer to the budgeted amount that I had. Now for business, I have spent in only two categories: supplies, and that includes one purchase I made for a product that I'm putting together for my Etsy shop, and for printing, because of course, as I mentioned, my printer went down. So $28.04 is what I spent there, so $22 left in my supply envelope. Subs and fees, $70. I had $43.49 in fees. That includes my Canva, my Etsy fees, my bank fees. $43.49, so I have $27 left in there. So in terms of business expensive, I had $120 for the categories that I spent in. I spent $71, so I came in under budget there. So overall, $1,365 spent, available, $1,609.71 spent. So overall, I was over by $244. So again, that $175 would have made the difference. So I will be unstuffing to help, of course, as I mentioned, make up for some of the shortfall. I'll be taking out what I have in Snowball, and I think I only have like $44 in there, so I'm going to be taking that out as well in this unstuffing, and I'll be taking out all of my miscellaneous. So I'm still going to be short. I'm going to be unstuffing a total of 444 between the business and my other envelopes, so a total of 444, but the total spent in those categories was actually $492 about. So a little less than $50 short overall. Okay, so that's what the outlook looks like, and I'm just gonna go in now and unstuff these envelopes. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the unstuffing. I'm gonna start unstuffing in my personal categories. So let's start with wellness. So with wellness, I spent $47.26. I have $30 in this envelope, so it all comes out. So nothing left in wellness. And giving, taking out $100. 6081. Actually gonna do it like this. 20, 40, 60, 80, 5, 95, 100. So in giving, there is $20 remaining. And no, not taking out anything there. Okay, so that's it from my P1. My P2s. Miscellaneous, I spent $15.95 there, but as I mentioned, because of the shortfall, I'll be taking out the entire $25. So that's $25 out of miscellaneous. And self-care, I spent $178, and I have a total of 50, 70, 90, 100, 5, 10, 15. I have a total of 115 in self-care. All of that comes out. Okay, so that leaves nothing in self-care. And birthday's good, Christmas good. Entertainment, I spent $78.96, and I have 20, 30, 5, 45, 55, $55. So that all comes out. So there's nothing left in entertainment. All right, and that is, oh, and I had also mentioned that because of my shortfall, I will be taking out everything in snowballs. So, you know, this is just an envelope that I was sort of just putting extras in as I had them. So, so that is 20, 35, 40, $43, actually 44, because I had some quarters over here. So we'll put this here, and that goes here. So Snowball now has nothing. All right, and lastly, I have to pull from my business envelope. So I'm gonna have to make some change with this one. So supplies, I spent $28.04. So I'm going to be taking $30. I'm gonna round it up. And so I need to put $20 back in here. So there's now $20 in supplies. Subs and fees, I spent $43.49. I'm gonna round that up to $45. So I'm gonna put $5 back in here. So subs and fees now has $25 remaining. Okay. and nothing coming out of equipment. So that is actually everything. So that is all of the categories unstuffed, and now I am going to count. So I should have $444. Let's see what we have. Okay, so counting: 51, 50, 70, 90, 210, 230, 250, 270, 290, 310, 320, 330, 545, 55, 65, 75, 85, 95, 400, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 35, 40, and 40, and $44. So that's it. This is what we've got. This is what we've unstuffed, and this will all go back to the bank. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for sticking with me to the end. I will be putting up my next cash stuffing shortly, and then I will actually be doing a bill swap. I'm going to be putting in some placeholders and taking some money to the bank. So those are the next two videos to stay tuned for. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for the love, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.